Good evening, my weary academics, and welcome to History to Sleep By, where we nerd out and conk out. If you enjoy calm, narrated history documentaries, or just need a reliable friend to help with restless nights, please subscribe, leave a like, and maybe share a comment about what's happening in your life. That way, you'll always find your way back to us. Now, let's begin tonight's journey. In the early summer of 1776, a sense of anticipation hung in the air of the American colonies. The Continental Congress gathered in Philadelphia, a city bustling with activity and purpose. Delegates from the 13 colonies were convening to discuss a matter of great importance. The Lee Resolution, proposed by Richard Henry Lee of Virginia, had set the stage for a bold step toward independence. This resolution declared that the colonies ought to be free and independent states, a notion that resonated deeply with many present. As the days of June unfolded, a committee was appointed to draft a formal declaration. Known as the Committee of Five, it included Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Roger Sherman, and Robert R. Livingston. These men were tasked with translating the fervent desire for freedom into a document that would articulate the colonies' intentions to the world. Jefferson, a gifted writer, was chosen to draft the initial version. He retreated to a quiet room where he could focus his thoughts and pen the words that would soon echo through history. Jefferson's draft was influenced by various sources. Enlightenment thinkers like John Locke provided philosophical underpinnings, while the Virginia Declaration of Rights offered a framework of ideals. Jefferson's quill moved steadily across the parchment, weaving together a tapestry of grievances and aspirations. He sought to capture the essence of a people's yearning for self-determination. Once the draft was complete, it was shared with Adams and Franklin for their input. Both men, seasoned and wise, suggested edits to refine the text. Franklin, with his characteristic wit, smoothed the language, while Adams, ever passionate, ensured the document's tone was both firm and just. Their collaboration resulted in a declaration that was a testament to the unity and resolve of the colonies. The draft, now polished, was presented to Congress. The floor debates that followed were spirited and intense. Delegates expressed a range of opinions, reflecting the diverse perspectives of their constituents. Some worried about the repercussions of breaking from Britain, while others were eager to embrace the promise of independence. Themes of liberty, justice, and governance permeated the discussions, as each delegate weighed the future of the colonies. As July dawned, the momentous decision loomed. On July 2nd, the Congress took a decisive vote. The resolution for independence was adopted, a pivotal moment that John Adams later proclaimed would be celebrated by future generations. Yet, it was the adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th that would be remembered as the birth of a new nation. The delegates, having reached consensus, affixed their signatures, committing themselves and their colonies to the cause of freedom. With the declaration adopted, it was time to share the news with the world. John Dunlap, a local printer, was tasked with producing broadsides of the document. These printed copies, known as Dunlap broadsides, were distributed swiftly throughout the colonies. They carried the powerful words of the Declaration to town squares, meeting halls, and churches. The first public readings were met with a mixture of awe and solemnity, as listeners absorbed the gravity of the announcement. Reactions to the Declaration varied across the colonies and beyond. In the colonies, there was a sense of exhilaration and hope. Communities gathered to hear the words that affirmed their right to self-governance. Bells rang out in celebration, and bonfires lit the night sky. Yet there was also an undercurrent of uncertainty, as the reality of the struggle ahead set in. Across the Atlantic, in London, the reaction was markedly different. The British government viewed the declaration as a rebellious act, a challenge to its authority. The news was met with disbelief and anger, as officials grappled with the implications of losing their American colonies. The document, with its eloquent denunciation of tyranny, was a bold assertion of defiance. As the summer of 1776 continued, the words of the Declaration began to weave themselves into the fabric of American identity. They inspired not only those who heard them in the town squares, but also future generations, who would look back on this moment as the dawn of a new era. The journey toward independence was fraught with challenges. Yet the Declaration stood as a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring spirit of liberty. And so, as you drift into sleep, let the echoes of history's quiet resolve guide you into a peaceful night. As the ink dried on the parchment, the world outside the assembly hall seemed to hold its breath. The summer sun cast long shadows across the cobblestone streets of Philadelphia, where whispers of the Declaration's bold words spread like wildfire. In taverns and meeting houses, the air buzzed with discussions of freedom and what it might truly mean. Farmers paused in their fields, merchants at their stalls, each contemplating the weight of this newfound resolve. Across the Atlantic, the British Crown pondered its next move, all too aware that the colonies were slipping from its grasp. In the months that followed, the American Revolution gained momentum. The Continental Army, under the leadership of General George Washington, faced the daunting task of confronting the well-trained British forces. Supplies were scarce, and the harsh winter loomed ahead, threatening to sap the strength of the fledgling army. Yet, the spirit of independence fueled their determination. Campfires flickered in the night, casting a warm glow on faces hardened by the trials of war. Soldiers wrapped in tattered cloaks shared stories of home and hopes for a future free from tyranny. As battles raged, alliances began to form. The French, seeing an opportunity to weaken their longtime rival, extended a hand in friendship. Ships laden with supplies and troops crossed the ocean, bolstering the American cause. The sounds of muskets and cannons echoed through the valleys and hills, a symphony of struggle and perseverance. Each skirmish, each victory, no matter how small, was a step toward the dream of sovereignty. In the quiet moments between conflicts, life in the colonies continued. Women took on new roles, managing farms and businesses in the absence of their husbands and sons. Letters from the front lines were read aloud by candlelight, bringing news of loved ones and tales of bravery. Children, too young to fully grasp the enormity of the events unfolding around them, played games of soldiers and redcoats, their laughter a reminder of innocence amidst the chaos. The seasons changed, and with them, the fortunes of war. In the spring of 1781, a decisive encounter loomed on the horizon. The small town of Yorktown, Virginia, became the stage for a confrontation that would alter the course of history. As American and French forces converged, the British found themselves trapped, their retreat cut off by land and sea. The siege began, a relentless barrage that tested the endurance of all involved. Day by day, the resolve of the British waned, and on an October afternoon, the white flag of surrender was raised. The news of victory spread swiftly through the colonies, a wave of jubilation and relief. Bells rang out from church steeples, and celebrations erupted in town squares. The dream of independence, once a distant hope, was now within reach. Negotiations began, and in 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed, officially recognizing the United States of America as a sovereign nation. The struggle had been long and arduous, but the outcome was a testament to the courage and tenacity of those who had fought for freedom. As the years passed, the young nation faced new challenges. The task of building a government that embodied the ideals of the Declaration was complex and fraught with debate. The Constitution, crafted with care and compromise, laid the foundation for a system of governance that balanced liberty with order. Leaders emerged, guiding the nation through its infancy with wisdom and foresight. The principles of democracy took root, nurtured by the collective will of a people determined to forge their own destiny. In the quiet corners of the country, life began to return to a semblance of normalcy. Fields were tilled and harvests gathered as communities rebuilt and thrived. Trade routes opened, connecting distant towns and fostering a sense of unity. The spirit of innovation flourished as inventors and thinkers explored new ideas and technologies. The landscape of America transformed, shaped by the aspirations of those who called it home. Generations later, the echoes of the Declaration continued to resonate. Its words, etched into the hearts of a nation, served as a reminder of the sacrifices made in the pursuit of liberty. The journey toward freedom was ongoing, a path marked by both triumphs and trials. Yet the enduring spirit of the Declaration remained a guiding light, inspiring each new chapter in the story of America. As you drift deeper into slumber, let the gentle whispers of history cradle you. The past, with all its lessons and legacies, wraps around you like a comforting quilt. Dream of the courage and hope that shaped a nation, and know that the spirit of those who dared to dream lives on in the quiet moments of the night. As the nation grew, so too did its challenges. The vast expanse of America beckoned with promises of new beginnings. Settlers moved westward, drawn by the allure of open lands and untamed frontiers. Each footstep on the dusty trails carried with it dreams of prosperity and peace. The prairies stretched endlessly, a canvas for those willing to brave the unknown. Families gathered around campfires, sharing stories under starlit skies, their laughter mingling with the gentle rustle of the wind. The journey was not without hardship. Rivers swelled with spring rains, testing the resolve of those who dared to cross. Mountains loomed, their peaks shrouded in mist, challenging even the bravest souls. Yet, with each sunrise, hope renewed. Communities sprouted from the soil, towns built by hands calloused from labor, but warmed by a shared vision. Schools and churches soon dotted the landscape, symbols of a society striving for unity and understanding. In cities, the hum of industry began to rise. Factories stood as monuments to progress, their chimneys reaching toward the heavens. The rhythm of machinery echoed through bustling streets, a testament to human ingenuity. Railroads stretched like veins across the continent, binding distant corners of the nation together. Trains, with their rhythmic clatter, carried not just goods and people, but ideas and aspirations. Amidst this growth, voices emerged, calling for change. Movements for equality gained momentum, fueled by the belief that all should share in the promise of freedom. Women, long confined to the shadows, stepped into the light, demanding a place at the table. Their voices, once a whisper, rose in a chorus for justice. The struggle was arduous, but their resolve unwavering. Each step taken was a step toward a more inclusive future. As the years passed, the nation faced trials that tested its very foundation. Conflicts arose, born of differing visions for the path ahead. The Civil War, a dark chapter, threatened to tear the fabric of the Union. Brothers faced brothers on battlefields, their sacrifices etched into the land. Yet, from the ashes of war, a new resolve emerged. The nation, though scarred, found strength in its unity, a testament to its enduring spirit. Reconstruction followed, a period of rebuilding and reconciliation. The task was daunting, but the promise of renewal guided the way. Freed from the chains of slavery, many sought to forge new lives. The path was fraught with obstacles, yet hope persisted. Communities banded together, nurturing the seeds of progress. Education became a beacon, illuminating the way forward for generations to come. As the century turned, America stood on the brink of a new era. The dawn of the 20th century brought with it innovation and change. Inventions transformed daily life, bringing comfort and convenience to many. The roar of automobiles replaced the clip-clop of horse hooves, while the skies, once the domain of birds, now welcomed the flight of humankind. The world seemed smaller, distances bridged by the marvels of technology. Yet, even as the nation advanced, it faced new challenges. Economic upheavals tested the resilience of its people. The Great Depression cast a shadow, but within it lay the seeds of resilience. Communities rallied, finding strength in solidarity. The New Deal emerged, a tapestry of policies aimed at recovery and reform. Slowly, the nation found its footing, ready to face the future with renewed determination. World conflicts drew America into the global stage, its role shifting from observer to participant. The resolve of its people shone brightly, their efforts contributing to the preservation of peace. Soldiers returned home, their stories woven into the fabric of national identity. The post-war years brought prosperity, a time of growth and opportunity. Suburbs blossomed, a testament to the dreams of families seeking stability and happiness. As the night deepens, let the gentle cadence of history guide your dreams. The journey of a nation unfolds, each chapter a testament to resilience and hope. Feel the whispers of the past as they weave through the present, a reminder that the spirit of those who came before continues to inspire. In the quiet moments, embrace the legacy of courage and determination, knowing that the story of America is at its heart a story of dreams pursued and promises kept. As the echoes of wartime valor gradually faded, a new era emerged, marked by innovation and cultural transformation. The 1950s and 1960s saw a nation eager to explore new frontiers, both terrestrial and celestial. The space race captured imaginations as rockets pierced the sky, carrying with them the hopes of millions. Each launch was a step toward the stars, a bold declaration of human ingenuity and ambition. In living rooms across the country, families gathered around glowing television screens, witnessing history unfold in real time. The moon landing, a pinnacle of human achievement, united a nation in awe and wonder. Back on Earth, the rhythm of life continued to evolve. The civil rights movement gained momentum, fueled by the unwavering determination of individuals who envisioned a more just and equal society. Voices rose in unison, demanding change, justice, and recognition of shared humanity. Marches and speeches echoed through cities and towns, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's conscience. Leaders emerged, their words and actions inspiring generations to dream of a better tomorrow. In the midst of these societal shifts, the arts flourished, offering reflections of both turmoil and triumph. Music, literature, and film became powerful conduits for expression, capturing the essence of a changing world. The melodies of jazz and rock and roll filled the air, breaking barriers and bringing people together. Artists painted with bold strokes, challenging perceptions and inviting dialogue. Writers penned stories that delved into the human experience, exploring themes of identity, freedom, and hope. The economic landscape transformed as well, driven by technological advancements and industrial growth. Factories hummed with activity, producing goods that reached every corner of the globe. The seeds of globalization were sown, connecting distant lands through trade and communication. Innovations in technology began to reshape daily life, introducing conveniences that once seemed the realm of science fiction. As the decades progressed, the nation faced new challenges, each demanding resilience and adaptability. Environmental awareness grew, spurred by a growing understanding of humanity's impact on the natural world. Efforts to protect the planet gained traction, as individuals and communities rallied to preserve the Earth's beauty for future generations. The Green Movement took root, advocating for sustainable practices and a harmonious relationship with nature. In the political arena, debates and decisions shaped the course of history, reflecting the complexities of a diverse and dynamic society. Leaders navigated the delicate balance of power, striving to uphold ideals while addressing the needs of their constituents. The democratic process, though imperfect, provided a platform for voices to be heard and for change to be enacted. Through times of uncertainty and progress, the spirit of innovation remained a constant. The digital revolution emerged, transforming communication and access to information. Computers and the internet opened new realms of possibility, connecting people across continents and cultures. Knowledge flowed freely, empowering individuals to learn, create, and collaborate like never before. As the 21st century dawned, the nation stood at the crossroads of tradition and modernity. The past, with its lessons and legacies, continued to inform the present, guiding decisions and shaping aspirations. In communities large and small, the threads of history were woven into the fabric of daily life, a tapestry rich with stories of perseverance and triumph. In the quiet moments, when the hustle and bustle of the day subsided, the whispers of history lingered. They spoke of dreams pursued and challenges overcome, of a people united in their quest for a brighter future. The journey of a nation, ever unfolding, invited reflection and inspired hope. As night deepened and stars twinkled overhead, the promise of tomorrow beckoned, a reminder that each day held the potential for new beginnings and endless possibilities. And so, as the gentle cadence of history lulls you to rest, let the stories of the past cradle your dreams. Embrace the legacy of those who came before, knowing that their courage and determination continue to light the way. In the embrace of night, find comfort in the knowledge that the story of America is at its heart a testament to resilience, hope, and the enduring spirit of its people.